Hubert Centers here. Let's go through some questions I've been getting and cover them in a video format. I don't really do text much. I really do more delivery by audio and video, and hopefully you like it. A couple reasons. I'm dyslexic and I don't like to type much, so it works out good for me. Hopefully it'll work out good for you. So let's go through some of these questions I've been getting. Hubert, should I use stops? I hear market makers know where they are and hunt for them. Great question, Bob. Let's take a look at this question really quick. The first thing I want to reassure you of is it depends on what market you're looking at. In the stock market, yeah, sometimes market makers know where stops are. It's just a common sense level. So let's go through this. If you had a market maker that was making a market in something and it was trading like this, okay? And let's say that you were long here. Well, the most common sense place for you to place a stop would be either here or right here, just slightly below the most recent low. If you were short from here, then the most common sense place to be place a stop on a short order would be slightly above the most recent high. Now, here's the thing. What you have to do is you have to think about, like, even if they know where your stops are, why would they care? They don't. They're not going to move $2 billion worth of market cap to come down here after you and wiggle you out of your stop and then go higher. Does that make sense? And in futures, there are no market makers. There are either paper or institutions, retail, and locals. There's locals and paper. So you don't have to worry about that. In the options, there are market makers, but they try to keep everything real tight so that there's not a real huge arb opportunity. And it just depends on what type of market order you put out there. If you just put a market order out, you're not going to get the best feel in the world as opposed to if you use a limit order. So some people may or may not know where your stops are. They really don't care. They're doing their own thing. Unless it's a huge order that somebody knows where it's at, then they really don't care. They're just going to do their own thing. They're going to try to get in there, get theirs, and get out, and they don't really care what you're doing. So I've got two more questions. Let's scroll down here. And what I've done is I've deleted the email addresses and the last names, and I'll just cut, copy, and paste them onto a Word document so it makes it easier. So next question is, Hubert, can you really make a living day trading, Carl? Depends, Carl, what your definition of a living is. If and there's actually a little bit, this one's what's going to catch you up here as a day trading. Day trading is harder than, say, swing trading, all right? So a day trade would be, you're in it the first thing in the morning in the AM, and by the close of the market, you're flat in the PM. So for the futures markets, they open up 9:30 and they close at 4:15. It's harder, no doubt about it. Intraday day trading is harder just because it's a high stakes game of Russian roulette. Eventually something's going to get you, or you can't be perfect forever. You're going to break a rule. You're going to add too much size, or you're going to move a stop, and then that's where you get hurt. And what really happens to a lot of people is they'll have little gain, little gain, little gain, little gain, and then boom, a massive loss. What you want to do is you want to reverse that. You want to have a real big gain every now and then. Real big gain, and then you just want to have little loss, little loss, little loss, little loss. That's my opinion. Day trading as a living, as a day trader or a swing trader, you most definitely can do it. It's a profession. You have to have the skills and the training and the experience in order to do so. And then it depends on what your definition of a living is. If you're talking about $100,000 a year, pretty possible. If you're talking, $10 million a year, possible, but you're going to have a lot deeper pockets. Billions? I don't know. I've never done that. I know several people that have made hundreds of thousands and tens of millions of dollars. I don't know personally anybody that's made $1 billion trading, but I'm sure it can be done if you got enough size. But that being said, it also goes in the opposite direction. You want to make sure you don't use leverage too much so that you're always going for the big wins and then you get those big losses too. So yes, you most definitely can, but it depends on your definition of a living and how much money you're talking about. And remember, trading's risky no matter what you do. There's no way to take out all the risk. Last question here, Hubert. If you had to start all over from scratch, what would you do and what markets and setups would you use? Thank you, Lisa. All right, so I would probably start in the Forex market. Now, the reason I would start in the retail Forex market is because it's smaller. So if I had no cash whatsoever and I had to start over, the retail Forex market has a couple of advantages. You can start out with as low as $500 in a retail spot Forex account. Now, you could go in a micro account, MICRO, or you could do a mini account, and then you could move up to standard lots. So you could go micro, mini, standard, and it also has a couple of advantages where you could get in a trade and just hold it for a longer period of time as you're in a good winning trade. Now, Futures, you have good leverage there too. You can start up an account with as little as anywhere from $1,000 to maybe $2,000, depends on the broker. You're also going to have $500 intraday margin. Longest you'll be able to hold something would probably be 3 months, so you'd have to roll in and out of it. Stocks you couldn't really do because it takes deeper pockets. You'd have to do that $25,000 pattern day trader rule where you can't go in and out too often. But I probably wouldn't day trade with very low funds. I would swing trade and get in something so it would geometrically grow my capital as I'm in a good winning trade, and I would try to get a couple of really good big winners and cut my losses as tight as I possibly could. So that's it for the questions, the Q&A this week or this month. Good luck. Hope it helps. I'm Hubert Centers, and I'll see you on the next videos.